Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of my Divinity Original Sin 2 playthrough. We're going to be going through this on Honor mode, purely for the fact that it's the hardest difficulty and I feel like torturing myself today. So, without further ado, let's go into the character creation and then the opening cutscene. So for character creation, I'm going to be making a custom character rather than an origin one, because I want everything I do in this to be applicable to anybody else that might be playing through the game as well. I'm going to make my main character a wayfarer, so that I start with a crossbow in the equipment chest on the tutorial boat. I'm going to be putting a link in the description if anybody wants to skip past character creation, if you're not into that too much. Won't be anything too interesting, just trying to get a character that looks relatively decent.
Glorious! Better luck next time.
And we'll be taking this point out of intelligence, putting it into wits. Taking this point out of Geomancer and putting it into Polymorph. And put an extra point into wits here again. For skills, we'll take off elemental arrowheads on Ricochet and on Revoke. We'll be keeping Pet Pal, as it opens up quite a lot of quests that you could miss without it. And go Outlaw and Soldier, because it lets us get some good discounts in shops early on. And that is the character created. And we're going to go into the opening cutscene now.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken, but instead I became part of their story.
I will attempt to keep quiet during all the cutscenes of the games and during dialogues, and let you just hear the voice acting, which is actually fantastic in this game.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now, no need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
We're going to do a quick little loot of the downstairs area here, to get as much stuff as we can. Usually you can find some gold or that down here, nothing too extravagant.
It wasn't a dream after all.
Which this could help us get some gear early on, as you can trade with the Magisters upstairs, and sometimes they have some very, to be honest, very bad equipment. But it's better than the stuff we start with because it does actually give us a little bit of armor.
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin.
Fresh meat. Bah. Nice. Plump. Banded like a chicken's leg too. That may be so, but look at the flies. Ban wisdom. Flies know when a creature will die. And it's around your head they're buzzing, not mine.
With 2 shakes of her stumpy tail, the sheep turns away from you to peruse her hay-filled manger.
There's some crates around here, usually just have some random loot. Looks like we're getting pretty unlucky getting a whole lot of nothing this time. But this vase here has a key in it that we need to open this door. Which in here there's some food on the desk, as well as a guaranteed dagger in this barrel. Which this food is always a little bit useful. You can use it for some emergency healing if you need it. So it's better to take it, even if you don't want to use it, you can always sell it. And I believe that potion is guaranteed as well, so that's at least useful for coming in here. We'll head down these stairs, and in just a little moment, we should get into our first fight of this game.
Hey! Hey! Get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. A gentleman among jesters, you are. Give that lever a pull, and I guarantee we'll both get something out of the deal.
Now, if you just pull this lever, he will attempt to kill you, as his idea of setting us free is just murdering us, which I'm not a fan of dying. So instead, we're going to talk to this
The Magister
Magister.
Guard snorts and sniffles as he sleeps. You're almost impressed that one man can make such a phlegmy racket.
Is my shift over? Are you here to relieve me? Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy scrounger? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. Those idiots can't even walk straight without mucking it up. Was it Rick's? I bet it was Rick's. Can't just leave the prisoner alone, though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs. If it's all the same, I think it's best he comes with me. Some offence intended. You hear that, Emoire? We're taking a walk.
The Magister will set him free now, and if we stick close by, we'll see that this sorcerer in here, he's not a fan of taking the abuse from this guy, so he's going to try and fight back. But, you know, if we're stuck in a boat with him, we don't want to get in the bad
sorcerer,
books
we
of the
haven't got
Magister,
all
so
day.
we're just going to help the Magister kill him while here.
No, you're most certainly.
Start with Encourage, give ourselves a small stab boost, then punch him directly in the face, and stab his ribs. So now that the Magister, for some reason, has started attacking us as well, I'm just going to stab him right once, and pull him down, so that they neither of them can get us with attacks.
That's one problem solved. A dead Magister.
So much for a
Somebody will have to
peaceful
take the
stroll.
blame for this.
So now what we're going to do
And
here
it
is
won't
delay our
be
turns, because that actually lets us get 2 turns in a row. Which lets us get some good damage off on him while here. And lets us sucker punch him again, so he skips his next turn. Sadly, we did get some low damage rolls, so he does live. Gets to kick us in the face once more. And he's finally done. That wasn't too bad, but it could have been a lot worse if we didn't have the help of the Magister. Now we'll finish looting up down here. Which, now that we've looted the Magister, we have a key to open this door, meaning we can save the lockpick in here for later. Get some empty potion bottles and the like from these. We can use those to make healing potions after we finish the tutorial. As well as there should be 2 healing potions on these desks. Always useful to have. Never know when you might need them in a pinch. Now we're going to break down this door, so we can skip going along the back and just instead come through here. Grab a deck of cards, if I can stop messing up. There we go. And pull this lever. It takes us right back to where we started.
And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
Then we can go up and leave the tutorial deck. We've got some more things to loot up here. Some more shelves and stuff with empty potion bottles in them. We even got a healing potion out of that one, so that's pretty lucky. Take this skull. This skulls sell for a decent amount of money. There is a lot of other junk lying around, but I just tend to ignore that. It sells for like maybe 1 or 2 gold. I would recommend picking up this gold cup, as it sells for quite a lot. Now we'll come over and talk to Magister C1 again in just a second.
Yes.
Forgot about this barrel.
No known associate you simple enough. In fact, he seemed quite well. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Is he? Oh well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they?
She frowns and peers at you closely, resting the back of one hand on your forehead and taking your pulse with the other.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. I recommend a cup of mulled wine and another night's sleep. Just take it easy. Dungeon? You have the gall to call my laboratory a dungeon? I'd be quite annoyed with you if you didn't look so honestly perplexed.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Sauce. For good. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Sauce spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. Makes you unable to cast Sauce. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Now that she's finally finished talking, we can barter with her. As you can see, she is selling a stained shirt, which while it doesn't give a whole lot of armor, it's better than the 0 we currently have. So we're going to buy that off her, sell her some of our more useless things.
Yes, this is a rare kind
Like a
of
fire
magic.
arrow. We'll give her
I'll
that.
need to write to headquarters right
Don't need
away.
it for the just now, as we don't have a bow. And really quick, I'll get these tutorials off. Equip this stained shirt. Give us 2 physical armor. Negligible amount of physical armor, but as I said before, it is better
Good
than
gods.
having 0.
There's been a murder here.
So we'll do a little bit more looting in these barrels here, and then we've got more magisters we can talk to, see if they're selling any other bits of armor. We might actually get enough armor to take a single
Behind
hit
the
for
Magister,
us.
a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
Easy now. You're paling me arse. Why don't you move along? Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. It's a small ship. His name was Finn. Oddball. Looked to me like he saw something he wished he hadn't before he came here. We'll find out who did it, one way or another.
Sadly, Magister Caddock here has nothing that we want, so we'll talk to...
A young Magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass.
Once again, nothing too interesting. Just some paper.
In fact, he seemed
Now we
quite
can go
averse
see
to
over
spending
here.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. I thought as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? A man of principle. I get it. Wonder how you'll feel when whoever did this does it again. You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous.
Seems like none of them here are selling anything, but there was a murder on this ship, which is always at least a little bit concerning. And you see here there's a bedroll on the floor. We're going to grab that, as we can use it to heal ourselves in between encounters. Arguably the item we're going to be using the most in this run. Quickly talk to some of the other passengers, see what's going on here.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. A very special someone. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together.
She pats you on the shoulder consolingly.
There, don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
There are a couple more magisters we can talk to. Sadly, we can't trade with the other passengers on the
always hung
ship.
closest to our divine.
Quickly just move this box out of the way because there's the key underneath it.
Well, you've
I'm
got
busy
this.
watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
Once again, nothing too interesting here. That's about par for the course, really.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this trampy fan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. Ifan seems amused at the gesture, but he bats your arm down from the salute when the Magister sees what you're doing.
You served? Me too. A long, long time ago now. Long before Source became reason to leash a man like a dog.
He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You! What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
Now we can quickly open this with the key we picked up before talking to Ethan. And the most important thing in here is these mash ties.
There has been a
Grab this knife here as well.
Maybe that has the
Quickly
Magister's more concern than
do
more.
those daggers as it will make it a little bit easier until we get our crossbow. Hey, we found some muddy mittens. Yeah, there's one more point of armor. This scroll is guaranteed to be in this barrel. It's always useful to have more here. And if you interact with this, you'll get some cooking recipes. Mainly to do with the potatoes that we picked up.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that? The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
That isn't anger, it's
He cocks his ear to the other side, then smiles.
anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been traveling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. No indeed, boy. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
Quickly talk to Master Jalen as well.
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scrammy. We're trying to catch a killer
a
here.
whole lot of nothing that's going to be useful.
I've
for
seen
us.
more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
You one of them? A divine order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
never died
Yeah,
on
let's
anything
sell in
less
some
than
muddy
a dozen
mittens, but we
horse
found
timber,
them
and I don't intend to do
in a
away
barrel for free, so no point in buying them.
Well, what have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Not to worry. I'll soon remedy that. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Oh, goodness, no. And don't even mention the demon's testes that are turnips. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style. I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm... Just as I thought. That explains what's besieging my nostrils. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you have the taste buds of a dung beetle, the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit, and your personal hygiene reminds one of a carcass rotting in the sun. That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. You should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. You'll never attain the rank of slave with manners such as that. Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
I assure you, and you shut up.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
Yeah, we spoke to them. We can loot these baskets over here, see if we can find anything useful. A little bit of gold. Not too much, but every little helps. There's one more Magister we can talk to. A couple more prisoners as well. Talk to Fane here first.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it from every angle. Finally, he pinches your skin, gently tugging at it.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
I've never died on anything less than a dozen course dinner,
We can come
and I
over
don't
here.
intend to do
Talk
away
to
with
Bosa. Over here.
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
It's a register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, sir, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Now we can enter here, and we can see that there's 3 Magisters, and somebody called Wendigo.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking Magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
And with that, that is going to end part 1 of Divinity Original Sin 2. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll catch you all in the next episode.